Mighty OB'a Pat Freeman once again here on clbTV, 1080 AM WFO radio, and on the internet at www.wfoam.com and YouTube on clbTV channel. We're once again talking about the world of sports here, closing out the home schedule of the Buffalo Bills today as they defeated Tim Tebow. Lake Erie did not part. The Niagara River did not stop running on his arrival here in Western New York. And he took a beat down from our Buffalo Bills. They finally ended their 7-game skid and won a home game for the faithful Western New York fans here at Ralph Wilson Stadium today. I am proud of our Buffalo Bills. But we do need to tell the truth about the situation. The defense had two pick sixes that they took back for touchdowns. Leotis McKelvin returned a punt for a touchdown. Hey, our offense, guided by head coach Chan Gailey, the supposed guru of offense, who's been on a real bad turn the last 7 weeks of losing, was in the red zone today 7 times. Count it, 7 times. He came away from this with 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. Count it, 13 points out of the Bills' 40 points was scored by the offense. What does that tell you? There's a problem here that's just not going to get fixed by a good performance by our defense today. Got to give George Edwards credit. He put together the right game plan to beat Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos. He did the right things. He put pressure on them. The Bills had 4 sacks today. Forced Tim Tebow for the first time in his career to throw 2 interceptions, 2 of them returned for pick sixes, which gave the Bills 14 additional points. But on the offensive side of the ball, we have to tell the truth. Ryan Fitzpatrick was abysmal. It has been reported by anonymous sources and some reliable sources that the Buffalo Bills have an out in Ryan Fitzpatrick's contract on March the 1st where they can either award him a $10 million roster bonus or release him. I think it is definitely in their thought processes to let this guy go. He has been awful. This is not a franchise quarterback. I believe the Buffalo Bills must go into the 2012 draft and draft a quarterback. I also believe, and I was one of the first people to state this, that Chan Gailey might not be the head coach that you think he is. He started off the season very well. But I learned from Wade Phillips back in 1998 that once defensive coordinators and other head coaches begin to book on you what you do best on the football field, and they start taking those things away from you, that's what you find out that a head coach has either the skill to answer these problems or he cannot. Hey, this year, Chan Gailey, over a 7-game skid, could not answer that question. He could not come up with a game plan to alter what defensive coordinators and head coaches were taking away from what he was doing at the beginning of the year. And that to me tells me I don't think that Chan Gailey is the head coach the Buffalo Bills need to go into another direction. You need to see positive growth on your football team going into the offseason. If you examine the wins and losses of the Buffalo Bills this year, Chan Gailey has to be called on the table. And I believe that Chan Gailey is worthy of possibly losing his job, and they might need to clean house of a lot of people. I am not happy with the job Chan Gailey has done this year as a head coach. He might be burnt out. It might be time for him to move on to another profession. But the job he's done for the Buffalo Bills this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball, has been abysmal. If you really look at the wins and losses of the Buffalo Bills, a lot of their wins and losses are due to the fact they were leading the league for more than 5 weeks in turnovers. Their defense was producing turnovers, but they were still ranked at the bottom of the NFL in allowing rush yards and also sacks. So they weren't getting the pressure, but other quarterbacks were basically causing turnovers to occur during the game, which the Bills capitalized off of. I think this is a question the Buffalo Bills organization and their fan base really need to take a look at it as we go into the last week of the season. Should Chan Gailey be fired? Should Ryan Fitzpatrick be released? The Mighty OB'a says Chan Gailey's days as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills really need to be looked at very closely. I do not believe that Chan Gailey is the head coach that many people think he is. Is he a good football mind? Yes, he is. But as a head coach, I question his leadership skills. I question the fact that he was the one that hired George Edwards as the defensive coordinator of this team without him having defensive coordinator experience. I also question the fact whether or not he is now prepared and willing to be a head coach to answer the bell against other head coaches in the NFL. I think you see that with the bad performance of the Buffalo Bills during a 7-week skid that did not decide to end until next to the last game of the season. Hey, that's all for us here on clbTV and 1080 AM WFO and the internet at www.wfoam.com. You can email me at freemaj@aol.com and let me know what you think. I am the Mighty OB'a. We'll see you next week right here on clbTV.